So today my final purchase arrived that I bought. Given that I have a new body, I need well, basically I bought the body and then I bought the lenses, but then I realized finally I do not have a tripod for the body, because this camera here, it has this gorilla pod on it, and this camera here, it has this, what do you call it, standard tripod. So basically I was missing a thing to hold my camera up, because the 60D, it's going for 30. I think I'm going to give this standard tripod for 30 to use. Maybe she will not use it, maybe she will, but anyway, at least it's there to be taken advantage of. But now the last bit, I nearly went crazy with this thing, because this is a new tripod here, and you can, and because what I got was a fluid head. It's the cheapest thing possible. It's a travel fluid head, so that when it wasn't the, you know, cheap Chinese stuff, but I think this is an Italian company that does these. And yeah, if you notice me looking funny when I open up packages, I have a standard test for me and what condition I am in, and it's my cast iron frying pans. And normally when you have the frying pan handle, you just hold it, and I can still do it with my right hand, and I can hold it in whichever position I desire, and I can hold it there for a long time. But my left hand, when I pick up the thing, my hand, it just, which shows that, it just bends. I have no power in my hand. So right isn't completely right, but compared to the left, it's fairly all right. So this is what I got. It's Manfrotto. I think they're the standard thing for taking video. They have fluid heads that cost several €100 easily. You can get one of their tripod systems going up to, and way beyond, €1,000. But this is supposed to be lightweight, portable, and I'm supposed to be able to mount this camera there, or I will mount this camera over there on top of this. And basically the idea would be that this head here, it has smooth motion. So if I try to turn it with this, well, it isn't that bad, but it easily becomes jerky. Whereas this, the whole idea is that you'll be able to take smooth video, and then you have levers here where you tighten or loosen it. Interesting to see how this serves me. On the MS side, what do you call it? I learned yesterday that there's going to be a horrible snowstorm. The predictions were that at least 10 centimeters of snow would arrive last night. So I had both my cars, I had summer tires on, and I was terrified that how am I going to get to work, because that parking lot that we have out there, it's not that steep, but it's going uphill, and if I go on there with my summer tires on and I try to get up the hill, it just spins in its place and doesn't move, it just spins there. And how I solved it last winter was that I reversed all the way back to the thing, and it's a bit more flat there, and then you very gently accelerate and you can get up the hill, which I did today. But last night I just could not get that thought out of my head. I was just terrified. What will going to happen? Will I be able to make it to work? Will I? And I was just thinking about. And yeah, this started. I had a night, one of these awaking dreams. In my dream, I was absolutely certain that I had mixed two powders together, given to me from Terhi, and these powders were turning into a liquid, which was the liquid was then seeping into my cameras. That my camera equipment was near there, and it was destroying everything. And I got up and I flicked on the lights and started, where's the camera? Where's this? And Terry just said, you must have been dreaming. And which I was, but then went to the toilet to relieve myself and came back, but then I had worked myself up, so I just could not get back to sleep. Yeah, one other thing happened yesterday. I had forgotten my phone into the car, and in what do you call it? Because I have my alarm on it, I decided, I need to go and get it. I walked to the car. It was already snowing last night, and only to discover that the driver's window was fully open. Don't know why, but it was fully open, and the door panel and all of that, there's moisture on them. So I closed the door, got my phone, came back in the car. It was all right in the morning, but the problem from this night, I cannot remember when I last felt so bad. My walking has been surprisingly good indoors. Outdoors, as soon as it's cold, it goes into this weird jerky thing, but indoors halfway all right. But my eyes feel ablaze, and just unpleasantness all around. And tomorrow I shall go up to Lahti, and maybe I'll go meet with the parents, because tomorrow it's actually, we let out the apartment, and the lady, she's paid the guarantee. She has a certificate of her being, and then she has an insurance for the home, and then we just pass it on, and that's it, done. But anyway, I'm gonna mount the camera on this. I'm not gonna test it tremendously much, and then we'll see how we manage with it.
And your anger slow, you are.
This is the horrid view that has been going probably now for, is this the third morning that it's been like this? And normally when snow comes for the first time, it disappears in a day or two, but now it has just stayed on the ground forever. It's this is just about the most horrid weather there is. It's cold, it's wet, and it's slippery, and it's just, well, it isn't that dark, so darkness on top of this, it would be even worse, but this is fairly unpleasant.
And your anger slow, and I love the way you think, and I love the way you
There's one thing that I was
I love.
meaning to say in relation to my MS is my left arm, which is practically, it still does, I can do typing and I can do my work with it, but it's lost a lot of its power. And I did tests, and my tests are here. So this is women's, we got this for Terhi. It's a kettlebell. Or is it kettle? I don't know what it is. But I can do 12 curls with this one, with my left hand, and that's a struggle. With the right hand, it's really no weight. But I dug out this one. This is a men's, or not men's, but it's slightly heavier. It's 12 kilos. That's 8. And I can do 12 curls, or maybe that's just because it's with my right hand. But I haven't even tried. But I can't get even one up with my left hand. It's hopeless. Another thing on my hand is that when I try and kind of hold the thing, it's just soft. Whereas this right one, it's halfway tight. And what can you do? It feels like the kind of muscle is there, or whatever muscles I have, not much. Oh, it looks funny. So the muscle is there, but there's no nerves to actually trigger it. And it's specifically on this left hand side that it's just, the hand is, I can move it and but if it continues to deteriorate like this, this will be a limp piece of meat after a couple of years. I won't be able to do anything with it. And now I've taken the habit of actually taking this, and I only do my left hand side. So up here, and then bring it up there, and then down, up here, and take it up there. I can do about around 10 repetitions. And then I forget to do those, but I try and do those, because I remember the first time I picked up after I got diagnosed and I was ill, and I was just in this state. Oh, I can't do anything. Poor me, I'm just deteriorating. I can't. So this was my initial state that I was in, but then I decided that no, that I can't kind of stay in that. I need to do something. So I started doing stuff, and I could, with this I think I mentioned in one of these videos, with this women's kettlebell, I could do 8 curls or something like that. So clearly, by doing stuff with that women's kettlebell, it has helped me. So now I can get up to, I think, 14 or something like that. I normally I don't take them to the very limit, because then what do you call it? It necessarily doesn't work well. So I do 12 or something like that, and then I just leave it at that. And then I do 2 or 3 repetitions with it. But yeah, it's obviously I don't see much difference in my legs. I know that my left leg is worse. It's the one that has the foot drop in it, just flop flop. It just doesn't work. But the left arm, it is clearly weaker, and it's been a drastic drop from what it used to be, because my hands, I always had this feeling that I favoured my right hand side, but I thought that's just me being right-handed and all, but I always thought that my strong leg is my right leg and my right arm is stronger. But now this disease, it has just taken my left arm completely. It's or not completely. I can still move it, I can work with it, but it's in a horrible condition. Can't remember what I recorded last. Basically, if I didn't already mention it, drove up to Lahti yesterday, delivered Elisa's sweeties or biscuits to Rob and Maya, and then I went to YIT where I picked up the keys and I gave them to the person who's renting our apartment, and I just managed to do it. It was, we're talking about minutes. She was actually waiting for me when I arrived there with the keys, and yeah, I've got 2 out of 2. First person straight in, they said that yeah, I'll take it. Now, she was a younger girl, so she might not stay there for so long, so that apartment we might need to be renting again. But the other one in Jyväskylä, she will maybe stay there for a longer period. And then we'll have another apartment being ready by the end of this year in Panimokatu in Lahti. So that's something I need to go and photograph and let out. Kind of me as responsible for Jyväskylä, and I'm taking the apartments in Lahti because I kind of. But why I'm sitting at the computer today is I have a working day. I mentioned this new customer in this new project, and what happened is that I had a meeting on Friday, and in the meeting they said, yeah, would it be okay for you to come and install this stuff on Saturday? What can I do? I went, yeah, I'll come. Is there instructions how to do it? Is there a backup for me if I make a mess of it, or if stuff doesn't go right? Yeah, there is. So now I'm here sitting in the meeting and waiting for my turn, because there's other installations that happen before mine, and then when they're done, then I start my job. But yeah, and the customer said that they would like us to participate more in the project than my initial idea was, and that's weird. Is this really, could this be? Oh, now I got a message. They're asking whether the installation is finished already. So I'm just waiting to start my bit here. So yeah, it's a positive thing. It's work. And I've been praying slightly that this might be a new area that I can work in, but you never know. You never know. But anyway, I shall now compile these bits and pieces, or I'll do it a bit later, and I will say that Jesus Christ is King. Amen.
one eye.